Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome on airBaltic Pilot Academy Open Day on 7th of November. And we are transmitting live from capital city of Latvia, Riga. A few words about me. My name is Mihai Gabriel Hac. I'm an airBaltic Pilot Academy graduate, and I recently graduated, and in 2 weeks I will start my type rating on our Airbus 220. A few words about myself regarding my path. I worked previously in Lufthansa, and that was also the moment when I had the first contact with airBaltic, and I knew about airBaltic, and I have experience in aviation. I graduated aerospace engineering and also teaching management. Going further, let's talk about the company. Before we talk about the academy, let's look at what and who we are flying for. airBaltic has more than 2,800 employees, and out of those 2,800 employees are 520 pilots. And like I mentioned, we have 264 first officer in the company, and out of those we have 161 Pilot Academy graduates. And as many of you already saw on the internet, we have also the first captain from Pilot Academy, from the first group. And this means only one thing, that the program doesn't just teach us, because I'm an airBaltic Pilot Academy graduate, but it gives us also a direct path into the airline career. And this is something amazing, something that it's a bit hard, I would say, to find in Europe, because there are not so many companies that are doing this. And I can say also about my group, so the company has a vast majority of people from different nationalities, and in my group with my colleagues we had 7 nationalities. So it's really nice, because you not only spend time studying with them, but you can also learn about different cultures. And it's the same also in the company, in airBaltic. So we have different nationalities with different cultures, and you can exchange a lot of information. And I do believe with all my heart, as it happened in Pilot Academy, it will happen also in the airline. So we had a really nice time. Talking about this beauty, the Airbus 220. airBaltic is the biggest Airbus 220 fleet operator in Europe. And currently we have 50 aircrafts, and as I was mentioning, I guess that most of you saw the latest livery of the aircraft, which is really beautiful. I like it, and I'm looking forward to fly the 50th aircraft. And talking about the aircraft, we have 148 or 149 seats, depending on the layout of the aircraft. Some of them have a bigger wardrobe, that's why we have smaller seats for some of them. It's a really nice aircraft. It's a modern aircraft. It's the newest aircraft on the market, and it has a quite impressive range, I would say, for the size of the aircraft. So almost 3,500 nautical miles, which transform into kilometers, it's roughly 6,500. And regarding fuel consumption, it's also an efficient aircraft with hourly fuel consumption of 1,760 kilograms. And yes, as I was mentioning, we have 50 aircrafts now, and we are planning to expand our fleet to reach by 2030 100 aircrafts. And this means only one thing: the company is expanding, and that there is a spot for all of us in the company after we graduate airBaltic Pilot Academy. Now let's talk about our home, the airBaltic Pilot Academy, and why it's the perfect solution. It's an integrated program which takes roughly 24 months. In my case, it was exactly 24 months and 4 days. And as I can mention, so we have the training aircrafts and simulator. We are operating DA-40 and DA-42, and I like it personally. And regarding practice and the quality of the studies, I can assure you that it's the highest standard of quality, because we have instructors that are graduates from Pilot Academy, and we have instructors that are flying in the airline and are also teaching in the academy, which helps a lot in case we have any kind of questions, and they can give us a direct insight of how it is in the airline. And from flying phase, I can mention that we had many times when we had discussions with the instructors from the airline, and they were teaching us, you should do it like this, or it's better to take into account to do it like this, because this is how we do it in the airline. And that's already a big step ahead in case you have to compare with someone that comes from outside and you already know how the things are working in the airline, and they are preparing you for the best, because at one point they are going to fly with you and they want you to be very well prepared. Regarding pilot work, after we successfully pass all the assessment and after we finish the program, we will have a job offer from airBaltic. It happened with me, and it happened with all my colleagues that graduated the Pilot Academy. Let's see what the number says. As of now, we have 163 graduates, and from those 163 graduates, we have 161 job offers from airBaltic. As I was mentioning before, so all my colleagues, almost all my colleagues that graduate airBaltic Pilot Academy join airBaltic. Now, the gap doesn't mean that some of them didn't get the job. It means that maybe they decided to go with another airline, so which is perfectly fine, perfectly normal. So it's voluntarily, so it's not after you graduate you have to, it's you choose if you want to do it or if you have another option, so it's perfectly fine for you. Out of those 161 job offers, we have 16 females. And now in the academy we have 158 active students. And out of those 158, we have 20 females. And we have 18 graduates from Pilot Academy that are working now as an instructor in Pilot Academy. And this is helpful because they were in our shoes and they know what we were struggling with, and they know how to prepare us to go over all the big steps that we have, and maybe we are struggling with some of them. And I can mention this during one of my theory lessons that we had one instructor that was airBaltic Pilot Academy graduate, and it was teaching us exactly in such a way that the CA wanted us on the exams to be prepared, and that was really, really helpful. And out of those 18 graduates, we have also 2 females instructors. As I was mentioning, we have also the first captain of airBaltic Pilot Academy. It's from the first group, and now he is flying as a captain. Regarding the geography, as you can see, we have students and graduates from all around Europe. And in case you are from, if I'm not mistaken, Poland or Greece, so please join so that we can make the entire European chart blue. So I'm the first one from Romania, so I was the one that painted Romania. So if there are many other people from Romania, please join, or from any other country. And this is also, as I mentioned, really nice because we were from different cultures, different countries, and we went along really, really well. And let's talk about what does it take to join us. Now, talking about the requirements for the program, you have to be at least 18 years old, and I do believe that this is self-understandable. You have to be able to work within the European Union. That's why it's also that you have to hold an European Union passport. because you are going to fly from different countries, and it's important to have the possibility to work within Europe without any problem. You have to have high school, to be high school graduate, and it's important because everything depends on our health to have also or to meet the criteria for a class 1 medical certificate requirements. And in case you want, so there are many institutions that can provide the class 1 medical certificate. My recommendation is to go up front to do the checks to see if everything is fine. And as many of you have already the question in the mind, yeah, but what if I'm wearing glasses? It's perfectly fine, so you can wear glasses. I'm wearing glasses as well, and there is no problem. And you do the checks. If everything is fine, you are going to receive the class 1 medical, and then you know that from one side everything is fine with your health and you can apply without any kind of problems. Self-explanatory, excellent written and spoken English knowledge. Yes, because we are in aviation and everything happens in English. And doesn't matter where we are flying, doesn't matter with who we are working, we use the same common language, English. As I was presenting previously, we have 35 nationalities with different languages, and we have to understand each other, so we use English. We fly to different countries, we use English. The ATC is only in English for us, and it's important to understand, to speak, and to write in English, because all the study materials are in English, and everything what you are looking for is in English in aviation mainly. Again, self-explanatory, no criminal records, and the ability to swim. Yes, because it's one of the requirements for the aviation. Now, talking about the factors that can improve our chances to succeed. Good grades in math, physics, and English. Yes, because you are going to see that during the studies we have math, we have physics, and everything is in English. And besides that, when you are going to fly, you have to be able to do some math calculations in your mind fast to calculate your path of descent, or to calculate how much fuel you need for, or in case you have to do a diversion, so you have to be able to do this fast. Of course, the aircraft can help us, but it's important to cross-check with our own calculations. Regarding interest and experience in aviation, I worked previously in aviation, and I know what it means, and I know that there are people that think that everything is just the uniform, or for those that are working in maintenance, it's just the clothes, or they are just looking at the aircraft. It's challenging, and it's important to get to know what aviation actually means. It's not easy. It requires a lot of discipline, but I do believe that at the end is worth it. Good cognitive abilities, as I was mentioning, we have to study, and we have to be able to do this. Healthy, active lifestyle. It's not something that if you don't have it, you are not going to succeed, but it's about the fact that we have checks every year, and we are close, I would say, with our medical. So if something is happening with our health, then we might not be able to fly. That's why it's important to have a healthy, active lifestyle. And of course, it will help a lot, I can say from my own perspective, during the studies, to do sport, to let your brain relax after a long day of studies. And regarding positive personality traits, I do believe that in aviation it's important to have a positive mindset if something is going not according to the plan, and it will happen this during the studies, during the flying phase. It's important to say like, okay, it happened, why it happened, how can I do it next time to make it better. And I can say it again from my own perspective and from my own shoes. I failed the exam, then I was like, okay, why I failed it, where I can prepare better. Spend time studying, understanding where my mistakes were, and then I passed all the exams. Let's talk about the practical side, the costs. The Pilot Academy provides two options. You have the option with airBaltic loan program and the option with self-funded. Now, for both of them, on the first stage where you cover the ATPL theory and the 45 hours flying hours, you have to pay those 25K. And for this period, it takes roughly 1 year where you have to pass all the CA exams. There are 13 exams. And you have to fly. And after that, if you decide to go with the airBaltic loan program, you have the airBaltic performance review, where the instructors with the management are looking how it was your path during the academy, how it was your path during the flying phase, and if something went wrong, how you cope with that, how you went over those challenges that you had, and help you to go through the entire process. And after you pass the performance review, you are going to receive a loan from airBaltic, and that's the moment when you start to work as well for a position in the company depending on your previous experience. And you are going to have the schedule 2 weeks working with 2 weeks flying. Now, if we talk about the other method with self-funded, you have the same part at the beginning. You have to pay 25K upfront for the ATPL theory and those 45 hours. And after that, you have steps. You pay further your program, self-funded, and you don't have to work. So you are fully committed only to flying phase. And also to mention that if you take the airBaltic loan program, you have a loan commission of 10% for the amount of loan you can take. Going further with the airBaltic loan program, as I was mentioning, the performance review will take place after successfully passing all the ATPL theory exams and roughly reaching those 45 hours, because you can the management can look closer to your performance during the theory and during the flying phase. In the practical flying phase, work and training schedule will be planned 50-50. Now, depending on your previous experience, as I was mentioning, and depending on which department you are going to work, some small adjustment can be done. You can work more and then fly less during winter if is needed, or you can fly more and work a bit less during summer. But that depends on each one's case, and of course it's discussed with your direct supervisor once you start working. Also to mention here that when you start working, you are getting paid half of the salary that the person that is working full on that department has. In my case, previously I was working as a maintenance coordinator, and I had half of the salary that the maintenance coordinator had in that department. And for me it was a really nice experience, because I could see, let's call it like this, behind the scene, what the entire process means for the airBaltic Pilot Academy, and I love it. As mentioned, position will be selected based on your previous education and skills, and this has nothing to do with the loan that you are taking in terms of paying back. The loan will start to be paid back after the initial line check, after the base level of the first officer. Now, for the self-funded option, it's worth mentioning that for both, it doesn't matter if you are self-funded or if you are with the loan from airBaltic. Both options are the company covers for CA exams, the first class medical, and 1 renewal for all the study materials, equipment that you need for the studies, and uniform. All of these are included in the study cost. Before starting the academy, you go, you take your uniform, you take the iPad and all the other materials that you need for studies. And because it takes roughly 24 months, you have to do one, before entering, you have to have the class 1 medical, and then you have to do one renewal, and this is also covered by the company. In case of self-funded option, there is no obligation to stay with airBaltic after finishing the studies, and it's the same with those that apply for the loan. So there is also no obligation; everything is voluntary. But in case you decide to go to another company after finishing the pilot academy, you have to pay the loan on spot. Regarding selection process, we are going to see a bit later that in terms of self-funded option consists of 3 steps, and the loan program has 5 steps. And successful graduates can undergo a selection process at airBaltic if they are interested. It doesn't mean that if you decided to have your entire program self-funded, you cannot apply for pilot after that in airBaltic. But you have to go through the same process that airBaltic Pilot Academy graduate went when he applied for the loan. And this is also worth mentioning that airBaltic Pilot Academy graduates have priority over other candidates. And here it doesn't mean if you are self-funded or if you have the loan, both of you have priority over other candidates. Regarding starting dates for next year, we have, wow, we already reached PA29. PA29 in January, PA30 in September, and PA31 in November. I personally joined the group in September. It was I can call it a bit of a coincidence. I was finishing my previous work and then I decided to join in September. Selection process. On my left hand we have the airBaltic loan program, and on my right hand we have the self-funded option. And the first step is consolidation of application. You go on airbalticpilotacademy.com, if I'm not mistaken, and you have there the spot where you can apply. You send your application, and that's something that I do believe that worth mentioning. In my case, I remember that I applied on a Thursday. On Friday I got called, and then on Monday I had the first stage of selection process. And I really appreciate the fact that they were responding so fast, and that was a factor that made me go for this academy. After you send the application, you have the online exam, English, Math, and Physics. It's for both selection process options. Then, talking about the airBaltic loan program, once you pass also the English, Math, and Physics, you have the general mental abilities and psychological assessment, and both of them are taking place here in capital city of Latvia, in Riga. For those that are self-funded, these 2 steps are skipped. And then at the end you have the final interview with the airBaltic management and with one of the pilots from airBaltic company, where they mainly want to see why you want to join the academy, what's your motivation, what makes you want to become a pilot. And I do believe that worth mentioning. It's important to know a bit the company, because you go to an interview for airBaltic via airBaltic Pilot Academy, and it's nice to know what the company is doing, what are the values of the companies, what aircrafts the company is flying. And I do believe that this can increase your chances of getting in. Now, talking about the enrollment process, once you pass all the assessments and you have positive answer from after the interview, the selection results are valid for 1 year. So don't worry if you got accepted and it's like, okay, what I'm going to do next. You have 1 year to put everything in order and to move to Latvia and to start your training. At the beginning, you have to sign the training contract, and together with that comes the 5,000 euro deposit, which confirms your place in the group. Now, I do believe that is going to be this question later. When should I apply if I will start, if I want to start in September? You can apply now because you pass all the assessment, everything is confirmed from the airBaltic Pilot Academy side. Then you can choose, depending on how many spots are in each group, you can choose in which group you want to start. So the best moment to apply is now. After you confirm the place in the group and before starting the training, you decide which group you want, and before starting you have to pay the 20,000 euro payment. Then on the first day you come here in the airBaltic training center with the uniform, because you are going to receive the uniform beforehand. You are going to have the familiarization with the rules of the training center, and you have also the formal event, as I did and as all of my colleagues had. And starting with the second day, you start your training. So regarding this, be prepared. It's not going to be easy. Again, I can tell from my own experience. I have previous experience in aerospace, and I was thinking that, okay, it's going to be hard. I do believe that it's going to be hard. There's going to be a lot of studies, but it's not going to be that difficult. And I was wrong. So it was challenging. It required a lot of discipline, a lot of motivation. And for me personally, the driver was like, I have the exam, I have to pass the exam. If I'm not studying and I'm not passing the exam now, I know that at one point I have to pass the exam. So it's better to study now and to pass it, not to prolong my entire process, because it's going to be harder then. Because the motivation goes down and then you have more stress on your shoulders, and the things are turning in a snowball, if I can say so. But don't worry, because the instructors are in the academy all the time. They can help you and guide you through the process. You have colleagues from previous groups, like it was also in my case. And I remember perfectly that my colleague, Frank, that was holding the previous open day, I was speaking with him on the first day, and he told me, like, study, do question bank, do question bank, do question bank, because this is going to help you. And I listened to them, and it helped me. And I'm saying the same. So once you got in, study, be focused, be disciplined, and it's going to be everything fine at the end. Now, talking about the student daily life, the uniform has to be worn throughout the training process. You are going to have self-study in the academy, and you are going to have instructor-led lectures, and you have to wear the uniform all the time. Now you have progress check for the studies to see how the studies are going, and you don't have to worry about that. It's perfectly natural. Everything comes in hand once you start working, you start studying. It's going to be a bit challenging at the beginning because you are going to have a lot of materials, a lot of information at once. But once you start to find your own rhythm, how you can study, how you can improve the process of studying, then it's going to be easier for you. We have 13 school exams and 13 CA exams. Before going to the CAA to attend the exam, we have the school exams. And I still do believe that the entire study process is divided in 3 parts. You have the first part with 6 subjects, and you have 6 school exams and 6 CA exams. After you pass all the school exams, you go to the CA and you attend the exams. The second phase is with 4 And the third phase is with 3 exams. Of course, might be the case that you're not passing school exams. It happened also to me. So the passing grade, it was 80 and I failed with 79. It happens. Nothing bad will come towards you. You are going to have a discussion with the instructor how you can prepare yourself better for the next attempt, and everything is going to be fine. So you might have help from colleagues, help from instructors that are in the academy at that time. So don't worry about this. Regarding practical flights, of course you are going to have, after you pass the exams, depending when you start, you might finish one stage of theory, you go for flying, then you come back to study the next phase, then you go back to flying. So it might be this case. Now regarding the flights, you are going to be assigned to one of our bases, and you are going to fly there to reach the amount of hour that is needed at that stage, then coming back for studies further. We have, as of now, 3 bases. We have Liepaja, we have Ventspils, which are on the western coast of Latvia. And as of this year, we have also Kupiškis, and personally, I love Kupiškis. You are going to see once you are here, because you can compare between all of them. I flew in Ventspils, and for me it was lovely because the city is really quiet and calm. And we were laughing that the only things that we could do there, it was to fly, to study, to read, and to do sports, which was perfectly for us during the summer. Now, for those that are going to have the loan program, you are going to have 2 weeks part-time work and 2 weeks practical training, and this is going to be discussed with your direct supervisor, how you can adjust this to be most efficient for you in terms of working and flying. And of course, for those that have the loan program, depending on what you are going to work, you might need also accommodation in Riga. Talking about the studies, we have a total of 1,034 hours in total, which I do believe with all my heart that in reality is going to be higher, because this is only what the academy provides, but you are going to have a lot of materials that you will want to go through. You are going to have a lot of YouTube videos that will help you understand better some subjects. There are some of my colleagues that they have a lot of extra materials and books that they are willing to share with you and to go through to understand better how can you go deeper in a subject and to understand the subject better. 31%, which is roughly 330 hours, they are classroom studies with instructor, which means instructor lead studies. You are going to be in the classroom, you are going to speak with the instructor about the subject, you are going to go through the materials for the instructor to answer your questions if you didn't understood something, and to be there to lead and to present and to help go through all the materials. We have almost 45% of computer-based training or self-study, as we count, and that's going to be higher amount of hours based on self-study, because you are going to study in the academy, you are going to have schedule assigned for self-study and schedule assigned for classroom study with the instructor. But then you are going to go home, you are going to have dinner, then you are going to open your laptop and go through more material. So it's again self-study. We have SEP training flights, which will take place on Diamond 4 TNG. We have the simulator for the A40 and the A42. We have also multi-engine training flights, which is taking place on our DA42. You have the UPRT, which is the funny part, as everyone says, because you enjoy a flight on a different level, I would say. You are going to, you can type in what UPRT actually means and how the flights are taking place, and everything is going according to the plan, but it's a lot of fun. And at the end you have 45 hours, which covers the FCC, which again, it's a really nice thing for us because the FCC will take place on our Airbus 220 simulator. And before starting the type rating, which I'm in this stage now, we already have the first contact with the aircraft, and for us it's going to be a bit easier, I would say, because we already know how the systems are working and what to expect from the aircraft. We know the layout of the aircraft, and many of my colleagues said that it was a bit helpful for them in comparison with those with the SFOs or the captains that were joining from outside. The fact that we did the MCC on our actual aircraft. Regarding theory and sim session, we have the theory here in Riga in airBaltic Training Center, and simulators are also here in Riga, both for Airbus 220 and for our DA40 and 42. And the practical flights will take place in, as mentioned, in one of our bases, Liepāja, Ventspils, and Kupiškis. Now for Liepāja and Ventspils, as mentioned, they are on the west coast of Latvia, and Kupiškis is in Lithuania. And on the top right picture you can see the Kupiškis, and especially during summer is really nice there too. You have a cozy feeling. As mentioned, our training aircrafts, we have DA40 single engine and DA42 multi-engines, which is a modern aircraft, a glass cockpit aircraft. And this is also helpful because we are already prepared from the academy for the airline. We get used with the instruments, we get used with the PFD, with the MFD, where to look for the information. And then when we do the transition on our Airbus 220, it's easier for us in comparison with those that are flying, for example, Cessna, an old Cessna. And also worth mentioning that we have a modern aircraft, and I can say, because I was working, the maintenance is amazing, and maintenance department is extremely strict with our maintenance. So everything is safe, everything is amazing. Talking about the fleet, we have, as mentioned, operational base, Liepāja, Riga, Ventspils, and Kupiškis. Here you see also Riga. We are not flying from Riga, but we are flying to Riga to understand how busy airspace is, to understand what a busy airport is, because the communication on the ATC, it happens faster, and to follow the rules that the ATC gives us. It's a really good example to understand how the things are happening here in Riga, because this is our base, this is from where we are going to fly. And it's always interesting when we came here to land with our DA40 or DA42, and we see our colleagues waiting for us to land and watching our landings. So it's nice. As of now, we have 10 aircrafts. We have 9 DA40 and 1 DA42, and as you can see on the graph, we plan to expand. We plan to reach 14 aircrafts by 2029. We plan to buy another DA42. So there is all the time there is improvement. So even if it says that we see a consistency, it means that consistency comes from improvement. Now talking about the airline pilot demand, there is a demand from the airline because currently we are operating 50 aircrafts and we plan to extend to 100 aircrafts, which means that we need more pilots, and it's hard for the pilot academy to keep the pace of the airline because we are both expanding, but we want more graduates to join the airline, and as you see on the right side, so we have also an increase on graduates joining the airline, which means that the airline is expanding, needs more pilots, the academy is expanding, buying new aircraft, and provides more pilots for the airline. So there is a spot for all of us in the airline after passing all the exams and finishing the pilot academy. There is going to be definitely a spot for us for the airline. Now talking about how pilot's day life looks like. We have the work schedule that is going to be received 1 month prior, and we can see how our schedule looks like. We are going to see just in a bit how the work schedule. We arrive 1 hour and 10 before the flights in the briefing room in the headquarters, and here we prepare for the flights, we meet the crew, we take the decision together. Then you have the daily plan. You might have 2 sectors, you might have 3 sectors, you might have 4 sectors. You fly Riga, Istanbul, back to Riga, Riga, Tallinn, and back to Riga, and that's it for that day. And depending on your roster, you might return back to Riga, or you might have a layover, or you might be standby, which means that you, in case one of your colleagues gets sick or something is happening, you are getting called and you go and you fly. Of course, we have also the recurrent training at the training center, and depending on your wishes, you can have also additional responsibilities in the airline. So this is also an option. So the airline is more than welcome to have you also doing other things in the company. Now here we have a plan for the entire month, and as you can see, we have at the beginning of the month on the top 2 flights, then you have 3 days off, then you have standbys at home where you are waiting in case one of your colleagues gets sick, you are getting called, you come to the airport and you fly. Then you have another 4 days off, a layover, another 4 days off, and then you have either flights from Riga or layover, depending on what you are bidding for and depending on what is needed at that time. So the schedule looks not that difficult. It might be challenging a bit at the beginning because you have different check-in time, different checkout times, and it might influence a bit your daily routine, if I can say so. But for me, this is what I was actually looking for, because it would be extremely difficult. I tried, and it was extremely difficult for me to have a 9-to-5 job. That's why I decided to join the pilot academy and to become a pilot. This was one of the reasons, because you have all the time, you have a different schedule, and all the time you have different things to deal with, and this is what drives me further to learn and to want to do this every day. Talking about the financial side, this was presented a few times already, but starting with 1st of January we have a new pilot offer. But in the moment when you sign the contract with airBaltic, after finishing airBaltic Pilot Academy, you have the first step, which is First Officer 0, which it will take place from the moment when you sign the contract until you have the line check. After that you get in the next stage, and you can see here clearly that there is a path from the first step until you reach the captain. And for Pilot Academy, for airBaltic, it takes roughly 5 years to reach the captain upgrade, because we are flying and there is need for pilots, and this can mean only one thing, that it's a good opportunity for us to be here, to fly and to develop ourselves. Of course, As I was mentioning, on top of this can be also other duties. As you can see, some of my colleagues are also Pilot Academy instructors, and they have extra payment on top of that. Or some of our captains, they are also training captains in airBaltic Training Center, and they have extra duties, which means that they have extra payment. As I was mentioning, starting with 1st of January, we have a new pilot offered. We have a flexible roster option because we have, as you saw, people from many different countries, and for some of them it's more convenient to have a flexible roster. For some of them it's more convenient to have a fixed roster. And this means that the company came with a new pilot offer, because it's not only about money, it's also about the roster. Some of them have families, some of them want to spend more time home, some of them want a more predictable working schedule. And the company came with this offer to help all of us. We have also the commuting roster, which means that we have 13 days on with 10 days off. Of course, those 13 days doesn't mean that we are going to work 13 days in a row. You might have days off in between. Regarding flexible roster with a minimum of 10 days off per calendar month, you have also this option depending on everyone's needs. And you have, as mentioned, also the fixed roster with 5 on, 3 days off pattern. We have also additional benefits for flight crew, and here worth mentioning that from the day one when you start airBaltic Pilot Academy, you have unlimited home leave tickets. It's not only after you join the company, it's also during the studies you have unlimited home leave tickets. This is applying only for after you join the airline regarding ID leisure travel tickets, which means industry discount leisure travel tickets, and it's shared within multiple companies. You can fly, and my colleagues are flying, and I flew to different countries either with airBaltic or with our partners. So it's something really nice. Of course, it subject to standby because you don't have a confirmed ticket, but you are checking in advance how many spots are left on that flight, and then you go to the airport, you have the ticket, you bought the ticket which is on a discount, and you go to the gate and you get into the flight. And this applies for parents, partners, or children, for those who have kids. So it's a really nice thing to have. Then you have 20 days of paid vacation according to the Latvian labor law. And as I was mentioning, all training, validation, medical, visa costs are covered by the airline. Now, I know that some of you will have this question later, if I'm not mistaken. If you have a temporary resident permit, if you can apply. Yes, you can apply, it's not a problem. It was also my case. So I'm from Romania, I'm from a European country, I came here, I started the studies, then I applied for permit resident, and everything was fine, no problem regarding that. We have also, after 1 year of employment, from the moment when you start working as a first officer, loss of license insurance, which covers roughly 1 year, 100,000 K compensation, depending on the case. I do believe that if we are talking about academy, we don't have this in the academy because it's on our shoulders if we want something like this, and I don't think that there is something on the market for pilot academy. If we are doing the studies, if we can have such an insurance, but as I know, nothing happened during the academy, and everything went smooth for all of my colleagues, and you don't have to worry about this. We have also the health insurance. provided by the company, and also accident insurance 24/7. And thank you very much for attending this event. You can follow us, and in case you have any other question, as of now, we are going to have the Q&A a bit later. You can follow us on social media, and please stay with me, and I would be more than helpful, more than happy to answer your question. You can go on slido.com and you can type in the password Papa Alpha 11 2025, and you can put your question there. We will take a short break, and in a few minutes we are going to come back to answer your question. Thank you very much. If I can ask, of course, so there is no secret regarding this. As I know, for me it's 0.25 on the left and 0.5 on the right, minus, and this was no problem at all. That's why I'm not wearing glasses now, because my eye can compensate for this thing, so it's perfectly fine this, and you can wear glasses during your working day, so it's not a problem at all. Next question. How many exams and which subjects did you have to retake, if it's not a secret? It's not a secret, this. If I remember correctly, I failed, the first exam that I failed, it was principle of flights with 78 or 76, and then I had to retake it. And then I failed instruments again with 79, so I was exactly on the age, because this is worth mentioning, for the academy the pass mark for us is 80, and for CAA it's 75. But once you pass the school exam with 80, for the CAA there is 99% chance that you are going to pass with 90, because the school exams are harder than the CAA exams. That was the second one, and the third one, on the third phase that I failed, it was performance. Again with 79, so I was on the edge all the time, but I had the second attempt and I passed them. It was no problem. I had a discussion with the instructor how I can prepare myself better for the retakes, and it was perfectly fine. How good do my grades need to be to get into the pilot academy? Also, I'm good with math, but my physics teacher doesn't teach very well. Would that affect me? I would say no. It mainly depends on what you know. It's not about your grades, because you can have only straight 10s. As I know in Romania, I don't know how the grading system is in other countries. You can have only straight 10s, but then when you have the assessment here, you are not prepared. And regarding math and physics assessment for Pilot Academy, it's mainly based on 9th, 10th grade and 11th, if I'm not mistaken, for both math and physics. So doesn't matter if your grades are not the best one, but if you know the theory behind, and if you are well prepared, it will not be a problem for you at all. Next question. How long did you prepare before taking the Pilot Academy assessment? This is funny in my case, because I finished university 2 years prior. Then I was undergoing my master degree, and as I was mentioning, I applied on a Thursday. On Friday I got the answer, and on Monday I had the assessment. So I had only 2 days to prepare for that. It was helpful for me because I stayed in touch with the theory, and I like math, and that was helping me, math and physics. I was preparing myself from time to time just for fun, if I can say so, and that helped me. But I would recommend, if you just graduated high school, to take a look on the theory from 9th till 11th grade. There are also many websites where you can prepare for that, and I also recommend that. And there are quite a few that they are really well organized to help you prepare that. You have to pay a subscription, a small amount of money for that subscription, but it will definitely pay off, and you are going to see what to expect from the assessment and where you can improve yourself. You can take a look at the beginning, and then you can see how your progress is going. So that's really helpful, and definitely it will help you with the Pilot Academy assessment. Retakes of exam in general downgrades chance to get a job at airBaltic? No. So it's perfectly normal, it's perfectly fine. So we are not all of us Wunder kids. So we might fail. It's not about the failing, it's about how you cope with that failure that you had. Why you failed, how can you prepare better for that. So there is no downgrade chance to get a job if you failed an exam. So don't worry about that. It's going to be easy. You failed, you speak with the instructor, you speak with your colleagues. Some of your colleagues will help you to understand some things, because you might have understood some things wrong. And then you have a discussion, so like, here I did it like this because it's like this. So it's perfectly fine, don't worry about that. After joining the program as a self-funded student, what would be the rate of success of getting hired at airBaltic if everything went well during the training? And if we ever fail the final assessment to join airBaltic, do we have a chance to retake them? Thank you. We have colleagues, and I have colleagues that followed the self-funded student program, and they had the assessment and they passed all the assessment and everything was perfectly fine. There is no difference between those that have the loan and those that they are self-funded. So all of us, we are equal. All of us, we have the same assessment. The only difference is that we have the assessment for the airline after 1 year, and those that are self-funded, they have the assessment at the end. So there is no difference in terms of self-funded student or loan program student. And you mentioned, if we ever fail the final assessment to join airBaltic, do we have the chance to retake them? Yes, there is also the chance to retake the assessment. You have to look on what went not that good as you were expecting, and then you can have the chance to retake the final assessment. Is it an advantage for me if there are no cadets from my country, like your situation with Romania? That's an interesting question. Unfortunately, I will say no. There is no advantage for you. Here you have the assessment. If everything is fine with the assessment, you get in. If something went wrong with the assessment, you have another opportunity to try again later. So there is no advantage for you if you are not if you are the only one from your country. Be prepared, as mentioned. Read about the company. It will help for the final interview. Study math, physics, and English. It's not rocket science. I would say it's easy if you take it step by step. So don't try to prepare for the assessment in 2 days. But if you take it little by little, step by step, the assessment is going to be easy for you, and you're going to pass it without any problem. And as you are seeing there, so there are multiple stages. So it's not only about math and physics and English in terms of assessment. When you applied, you're going to have there the list with what documents you have to submit for the Pilot Academy. And there are many students and many applicants that they are failing because they didn't submit the right documents. So start from that point. read carefully what you have to do, prepare all your documents, put them in a structured order, and then submit them, and pay attention what they want from you and what you are sending. And once you pass that first step, you can go further with this. So take with small steps and everything is going to be fine. Don't worry about the math and physics and English exams. Some of your colleagues had assessment at airBaltic at the end of the program. Yes, we had colleagues that they were self-funded and then they had the assessment at the end of the program, but they had exactly the same assessment as we did, so as I was mentioning. Can successful graduates express a preference as to which airBaltic base they would like to be stationed at? Or are graduates assigned to whatever pilots are needed at that time? Currently, we have Vilnius base, we have Tallinn base, we have temporary base in Brussels, and you can apply for the base. So as you were asking, so you can apply for a base. You might get or you might get not, depending on your experience at that time and depending on the needs. But there is a possibility, and we have all the time. The company is sending us the call, and we can apply for the base. How do you notify if I have passed an exam or evaluation test, by phone or email? Here, in my case, it was by email, but the unspoken rule, if I can say so, is by phone. So if you pass a stage of the assessment, you are called by one of our colleagues, and the person is informing you that you passed, and you can prepare for the next stage. How many people usually apply for the academy? How many are accepted? This is an interesting question. Here, worth mentioning that it's not about how many applied and how many got accepted. If 100 applied and all of the applicants are well prepared and everything is okay with the documents, all of them are getting accepted. But from our side, there are usually 10 applicants for one spot in the group, and some of them are getting rejected on the process, as I was mentioning, because of the papers, because some of them failed the second part of the assessment. So it's not about we have this amount of spots and we need this amount of students. Is we have the pilot academy. If 100 students apply and all of them are perfectly capable of doing it, all of them are going to get accepted. Are more students being accepted for courses now than in previous years? This is an interesting question. I cannot tell you exactly numbers, but what I know is that the groups now are a bit bigger. So I would say that the amount of students is quite consistent over the years. Of course, during the COVID-19 period, the process was closed. So if we compare with that, then yes, but if we take it on average, there is no difference regarding this. Can the class 1 medical examination be done in Riga, or can it be completed in your country? I already have a valid class 1. It can be done in your country, but as I remember, first time when I applied, they are going to ask you for which country you are applying. And in my case, I mentioned that I was applying directly for Latvia. Because if you are not doing this, then you have to convert your license here in Latvia, and it takes a bit of time, but it's not a problem. So you can, if you have already one valid class 1 license, you can apply for the academy, and then during the studies you can convert your license to a Latvian one. So it's not a problem. It's just some paperwork, so don't worry about this. It is possible to still be selected if I apply for a third time. The answer is yes. If you have a roughly estimation what went less positive on your side and where you have to prepare, so there is no problem. You can apply for the third time and you are going to get in. How demanding is the training in practice? Do students sometimes fail certain stages, and if so, how many attempts are allowed to retake them? Also, does extending the training period have an impact on the overall cost? Let's take it one by one. How demanding is the training in practice? It's quite demanding. So you have to be at the training center sometimes from 9 till 5, sometimes less, sometimes a bit more. But once you finish, you go home, you eat, and you study further for what you studied during that day to repeat or to prepare for the next day. So it's quite demanding. And in my case, there were 2 years where I had no break. So not to scare anybody regarding this, it was tough, it was demanding, it required a lot of discipline from my side and a lot of hard work, but at the end I'm here in front of you, and I wish for all of you that are watching now to be on my position in the future. So it's quite demanding. I would say that it's not for everyone if you are not motivated, the motivation to come from yourself, not from parents or from someone else pushing you towards this, because you are going to reach some stages when it's going to be hard, and if you find your inner drive and inner motivation to go through, everything is going to be fine. Yes, do students fail sometimes certain stages? Yes, it happens to all of us, and it will happen also to you, so don't have to worry about this. It happens. You can go through it. You can look at what went wrong. You can look how you can improve it. Regarding how many attempts are allowed, here it's a longer answer, because it depends on how you failed. If you failed only close to the passing grade, then you just have to retake the exam. If you fail with a lower grade, then there might be some hours with the instructor needed. So depending on each one stage, that's why I was mentioning that if something went less positive on your side, the instructor with the management will look into the specific situation, and together with you they are going to take a decision what is best for you, so that you go through everything and everything is helping you. So you don't have to worry about this. Now, extending the training period have an impact on overall cost? Yes, this is a positive answer, because you spend more time without a job from the company for the FO, so you have to spend more time studying, and this means that you have to pay the rent, and this means that you have to sustain your cost living. So that's why for me it was the case that I said, like, okay, I have to pass the exam. I know that there is not a problem if I'm failing, but this will extend my period, and anyway I will have to do it, so it's better to do it from the first attempt. That's why I was this was my my inner thought that was running in my mind all the time. Previously, there was a group plan for March 2026. Do you know why they were removed? As I know, they removed it because they plan to put more students in one group, but depending on the amount of students that the Pilot Academy is going to have, it might be put back on place. If there are going to be many applicants that are going to be accepted, probably the group is going to take place as well. How is the initial online assessment test evaluated? It's taking place, if I remember correctly, and if I say any mistake here, you can also type the question to my colleagues, and they are going to answer you 100% accurate. But I know that it was on a platform, and once you submit all the answer, it's automatically corrected, and if everything is fine, then you are going to have the call from them, and you go further with the next stages of the assessment. It's on an online platform. As I remember, you need 2 cameras, one from the computer and one from behind, to see that you are not having any kind of extra help. And you have the math, physics, and the English assessment, and if everything runs smoothly, then you go further. It is true that you cannot become a pilot if you have astigmatism. No, it's not true. I had one of my colleagues that was in this case, and it's perfectly fine. Of course, depends on how advanced the astigmatism is, but there is not a problem regarding this. As I was mentioning, it's better to go to have the class 1 medical checks, to see, to talk with the doctor, and to see if everything is fine before starting the process. What physics and math topics would be beneficial to repeat before the academy assessment? As I was mentioning, from 9 till 11th grade, I'm not 100% sure regarding 11th grade, but I know that for 9th and 10th grade for sure. But there are multiple websites where you can check, and there is one website where I was just taking a look recently, and there was also the assessment for airBaltic, so you can see there and have an idea what it is. Not that it's going to be exactly like that, but you can have an idea what to prepare. Is tension a bad for the interview? Will they look that as a bad thing? No, that's perfectly fine. It's perfectly normal, for we are human beings, so don't worry about that. I would say that for the interview, they are looking more at what drives you towards this field and why you want to do it. So the motivation behind, not that you are a bit nervous at the interview, or that you are having a few blocks and you don't know what to say. So don't worry about that. It's more about why you want to do this. If I train myself English, math and physics every day for 30 minutes for a year, what would be my chances to get into the academy? Thanks. I would say 100%. So if you do this, I can tell you 100% that you are going to get in. No worries about this. What was your monthly living cost in Riga? Depends on the month. During winter it was a bit higher, during summer it was a bit lower. Of course, I was not living only in Riga. I was living also in one of the other bases, but on average I would say, depending on how you want to live the life, if you want to have a decent apartment with food cost and with going out sometimes with your colleagues, having a drink and socializing, gym, and other necessary costs, I would say that roughly 1,500 euros. Should I apply only when I feel ready for the online test as well, or can I apply now and then take the online test when I feel ready? I don't know if you have this option to apply and then to say when you feel ready. If you apply, then it means that you are going to get called and to attend the assessment. But as I was mentioning, you can go on the internet, check how you feel with the math, physics and English, and then go further. On another note, how would you rate this statement? If you are able to get your driver's license, you are able to become a pilot. I've heard this from someone before. Depending where you apply for the driver license, I would say. I would say that it's a bit different, because you don't have to study that much for the driver license, and here is mainly based on how disciplined you are. And you can try, I don't know what example I can give you as an example. It would not be the best example. To try 1 month to wake up every single day at 6 in the morning and to run for 30 days to see if you can do this. So that means that you are willing to commit to something, and that's a good trait that you can become a pilot, because you are going to have long study days, evening study days, night studying days. You are going to be best friend with coffee and with sleepless nights, so you have to take this into account. What is the maximum amount of times I can apply? 3, to answer fast. You can apply for the Pilot Academy 3 times. It is passing rate also 80 for the online Pilot Academy exams. I don't know exactly the passing rate for the online Pilot Academy exam, but what we all the time prepared for was to aim for 100, because for sure you're going to have some answer wrong. So it's going to be less, but you know for sure that you're going to pass. Try to aim for as high as possible, and then if something went wrong, that you know that you are prepared. This was also our way of thinking in terms of school exams and in terms of CA exams. We were not getting ready 80% knowing that we are going to pass. No, we aim all the time for 100, and sometimes we reach 100, sometimes we reach less. So, but aim for 100. Hi, does the academy provide assistance for students seeking accommodations? No, at the beginning. This is the short answer. When you come here first, when you start the studies, not really. There is a file that is going to be shared with you where there are some recommendations, but you have to arrange yourself. I can say from my example, when I came here first, I applied for Erasmus student dorms, and I stayed there for 6 months. Then I was looking for city where I can find the best accommodation for me, to help me to be close to the academy, to reach what I had to reach at that period of time. So this might be an option for you, to look for a student dorm, spend there 6 months, understand the city, understand where is better for you to be there, for you to be located, and then you can look for accommodation. Of course, after you apply, after you get in and after you are going to be assigned to a base, it's going to be some recommendation from the academy where you can apply for accommodation, and you are going to have some discounts. How difficult it is really to get into the academy on 1 to 10? This is an interesting question and a hard question. There is no right or wrong answer. I would say get prepared as well as you can. And of course, if you have no idea about the subjects, don't apply, because you are going to have the first contact with the assessment, the online assessment, and you are not going to be able to get through. But prepare yourself, take it slowly, and it's not going to be that difficult. Do you plan to expand training airfields in Latvia and Lithuania? Hope to see new airfields in Latvia too. Have a nice day. This answer is based on many factors. So we take a lot of factors into account when we decide to open a new base. And as of now, we have 3 bases, and we are operating from all of them for different type of flights. Everything runs pretty smooth, I would say, and we are looking forward. I don't know the exact answer. You can type this question also to my colleagues. Tips for the interview stages? Yes, as I was mentioning, read about the company, what kind of aircraft we are flying, what are our values, what is important for us, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, how can you change, how can you improve yourself. Be yourself. Don't try to create a mental pattern in your mind, because they are not looking for a specific type of candidates. Everyone is more than welcome, but be yourself, and to have a positive attitude. That this is what I do believe that is very, very important. What could be the reason for not passing the psychological assessment? This is a question that you can have a discussion with a psychologist. What I was doing and what I recommend, if you have at school, the psychologist, they might have some type of assessment, and you can do one of those. I was doing this when I was in Romania. I was doing with my teacher, and we were looking together what could be improved and how can you prepare better for this. So I don't know the exact answer, but I can give you a recommendation regarding this. Find a psychologist, try to go together with the psychologist through some assessment that he has, or you can find many of them on on the internet, see what goes well for you, what can be improved, and then you can adjust yourself. How does people manage to get 25K? Can you take a loan from the bank to start? Depends on everyone, I would say. In my case, I was the lucky one. I had the money. I know that some of my colleagues sold their apartment to get the money. Some of them took the loan from the bank. Depends on where are you coming from, depends on what option do you have. There is no right or wrong answer here. I do believe that you can take a loan from the bank depending on where are you coming from. Sorry, depending on where are you coming from, but I think this is an individual case. Before applying for the initial exam, it is necessary for me to present the high school graduation certificate. I don't remember exactly which documents you have to upload on the initial assessment, but I do believe that it's everything written there clearly. And you can also ask this question on any of our social media, and one of my colleagues is going to answer you. But I do believe that you need high school graduation certificates. If I remember correctly, I was uploading that one. Before applying in airBaltic Pilot Academy, did you take time to repeat your math knowledge and also physics? It's been a couple of years since school for me now. It's a good thing to do, and I do recommend it with all my heart to repeat your math knowledge and also the physics ones. Because you are going to have the assessment and you are going to be time constrained for the assessment. So in order not to think during the assessment what you have to do and how you have to do things, it's better to prepare for the assessment a bit ahead, to be prepared for what is going to happen there. How are transportation and accommodation organized for students after the theoretical stage? Everything is done by ourselves. So regarding transportation, in my case, we have a WhatsApp group, and when I was moving from Riga to Liepāja or to Ventspils, I was writing if it's someone driving, and we were sharing the same car. And also regarding accommodation, in both bases, I share the accommodation with some of my colleagues, and we organize ourselves for the accommodation and transportation. How does a normal study day look like when learning the theory, and how many days a week? You wake up depending on when you want to wake up, but I know that the study starts at 9, sometimes at 8. You have either the self-study at the beginning, and then you have the instructor lead lectures, or the other way around. Then you go home, you eat, you have a walk, a mental walk or a run, and then you go back to studying. And on average, it takes 5 days a week, from Monday until Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, but it's not really off because you are going to have self-study over the weekend. So more or less, it's 7 days a week. It is a disadvantage to not speak Latvian, and does airBaltic require students to learn this language during the training? Nope, it's not a disadvantage, and nope, airBaltic does not require students to learn the language during the training. I come from Romania, and I'm not...
We have some technical issue. We are offline now. Do you remember this question?
Yes.
Keeping you
I'm sorry for the inconvenience. So it was a small problem with our internet connection. Coming back to your question, no, it's not a disadvantage, and no, airBaltic does not require us to learn the language during the training. Of course, is nice if you know a few words when you go to supermarket or with your Latvian colleagues, because you are going to have Latvian colleagues to share a few words and to learn. But it's not a disadvantage. I am not speaking Latvian. I know only a few words, and I was not studying previously Latvian, so it's not a disadvantage at all. During the self-installment, when you don't have that 50-50 work-study period, it is possible to combine the theoretical studies also with work? Nope, unfortunately not. It's really demanding, and I was having the same thought at the beginning that I can combine, but you are going to study from 9 till 5 or 9 till 6. Then you are arriving home, and you have to study also at home. So it's not possible this. It's a 2-year full commitment to studies. It's not possible. Believe me this. The psychological assessment and cognitive abilities test are in Riga, and the final interview as well. Are 2 visits required or can be done in 1 visit? In my case, it was in 2 different days, but it was just 1 day break in between, and the tickets were provided by the company for the flight to and from Riga. And I had the first the psychological assessment. I had it on Monday. Then I had 1 day off, which was really nice for me because I could explore a bit the city, and I really liked the city on the first contact that I had. And then on Wednesday I had the interview, and after that I flew back to Zurich. And so basically you have also accommodation. They are going to provide you with option for accommodation. You have to pay a small amount for the ticket and the accommodation, but you have accommodation during the assessment and tickets as well. So they are more or less, and I know that also for some of my colleagues they were on the same day. So depending on the case. Thank you for organizing this event. You are welcome. I currently hold an EU blue card issued by Poland. I am a non-EU citizen. While working in Poland, I completed my PPL training. May I ask if there is a chance for me to join the self-funded program or the half work, half training program at your flight academy? I don't know exactly how it is regarding the non-EU citizen. This is a question that you can ask my colleagues for sure, and they can answer you. But if you have a PPL training, I had one of my colleagues that had this, and it was an advantage for him because he already knew some theory from the PPL training, and it was some hours were credited during the program because we have in total 210 flying hours, including simulator. So, and some of them they were credited, but I cannot answer you fully on this. The best option is to write the question to my colleagues, and they will answer you for sure. Have you already did your UPRT training? If it's not a secret, in what country do you take it, and what was the altitude where you start training spins? Around 4,000 feet. Yes, we did our UPRT during the program, and everyone from the Pilot Academy is doing the UPRT training during the program, and we did it in the UK. It was really fun, and we were constrained a bit at the beginning by the cloud base, but I remember that in one of the days we started spins at 5,000 feet, then we climbed at 7,000 feet with the aircraft, and we started. So we did it in the UK, the UPRT. Lucas, hi, I have a PPL and the ATPL theory certificate. Can I apply to this program? Will I need to pay 25K and do whole ATPL theory courses again? how it is type rating financed? Is already included in 64K? Thank you. Well, if you have a PPL and an ATPL theory certificate, that means that you already went through the process, and this is not 100% applying to you. But I don't know the exact answer to the entire question. I know that the type rating is not included in those 64K. The type rating is company financed, and then you have the bond with the company. But I do believe that this is a situation for you when you already have the certificate, you already have the PPL. The academy doesn't really apply to you. You can ask this question to my colleagues Lucas, and they are going to answer you exactly regarding this. Which airport is your favorite and why? Thanks for the answer. That's a good question. I really like Palanga. It's a bit challenging because you have most of the time crosswind there, and it's a really nice airport to fly. The ATC is also nice there. I love Riga. When I'm coming here and it's busy, you feel a bit proud of yourself that you went through the entire process from uncontrolled airspace to controlled airspace, and following the rules from ATC and the guidelines from ATC. So this is another option. And Kuressaare is also really nice. I liked also Kuressaare. But if I would have to mention only one of them, I would say Palanga. Is flying experience useful in interviews? I have a glider and a private pilot license now. Yes, it is helpful not only in interview but also in during the flying phase. I had also a glider license previously, and I flew part of a program from a PPL in Romania, and I had a bit of experience. But definitely glider experience will help you during the flying stage, and it's definitely a green flag for you. What are the costs of the assessment? Besides the fact that you have to pay the plane ticket and the accommodation, nothing, honestly. Of course, you have to pay the food here in Riga while you are spending the days here, but nothing. And I do believe, because I spoke with colleagues that applied for other companies and they had to pay the assessment. So that was one of pleasant surprises when I applied, that I had to pay nothing. So yes. Should the total amount of 25,000 euro be paid in full before the start, or is possible to make monthly payment? No, as I was mentioning before, you have to pay 5,000 euro to block your spot on one of the groups, and then before starting you have to pay the other 20,000 euros. So it's not possible. Can you pass medical class 1 if you have a slight scoliosis? This is a question that I don't know the answer, and the best answer you will find it if you apply for a class 1 medical, and they are going to tell you this. Thank you for a great open day. Best of luck with your Airbus 220 type rating. Thank you very much. Why did you choose airBaltic out of all the available pilot programs? Did you apply to other airline as well? Sorry if this question feels like a job interview. No, it doesn't feel, and I don't have a problem to answer this. Yes, I apply for European Flight Academy because I'm also a German speaker, and I apply for European Flight Academy in Switzerland, and I passed all the assessment, and I failed the final interview. It happens. So I'm not ashamed to say this, so it's perfectly fine. And I had the contact also with Wizz Air Pilot Academy because it was an option, and they have a lot of bases in Romania, and I was thinking about this. But honestly, and this is just my personal case, maybe some other colleagues had different, I didn't like how I was treated there, and that was a no-go for me, even if I pass all the stages. And it took also some time for them to answer me. And here, when I submitted the application, the next day I got a reply, and that was like, okay, if they are so prompt and they are so well organized, this is a company where I would like to be. And I choose also airBaltic because I was working previously for Lufthansa Technik, and we were doing maintenance in Bucharest for them, and I like the aircraft. And this is another reason why I choose airBaltic, because it's operating Airbus 220, and I like this aircraft, and that was another reason why I choose airBaltic. Thank you very much for the good presentation and helped us for answering the questions. Now just need to ace the test and we'll see you there. I really hope with all my heart that in 2 years from now on, you are going to be in my spot, and we are going to see each other on the crew center and say hi to each other. Thank you very much for being here with me, and I wish you a lovely day ahead.